50 best-selling games of all time, but we're rating them by quality. So it don't matter if it's the best-selling game of all time, that doesn't mean it's gonna get S tier, not necessarily. How good are these best-selling games really? You know what I mean? Here they are right here. This is not my tier list, but I did take the liberty of organizing these in reverse best-selling order. So this right here is the 50th best-selling game, all the way down to Minecraft as the #1 selling game. So we're gonna go through them in that reverse order and put them in our SABCDF situation, or didn't play. I didn't play all of them. Some of these games is absolutely unbelievable that they're here, and we'll get to that. Alright, so we're gonna start with Super Mario Bros. U. I don't like modern 2D Mario games. I think they lost some of the sauce. I think original, like handheld, like Super Mario World, for instance, is fantastic. But yeah, like I've played Super Mario Bros. U and games like this, I don't think it's the same anymore. I feel like as Mario ages, the platforming gets more and more slippery. 3D can be an exception, but also like the one that had Bowser's Fury in it, was like the most recent one they released, was also, it just had super slippery platforming, and the 2D games suffer from that as well. Like it's just not tight, it's not very reactionarily responsive platforming, not like something you would get out of like a Crash Bandicoot. So I'm gonna give Super Mario Bros. U a D, to be honest. Next up we have Pokemon Sapphire and presumably Ruby version. The OGs on the Game Boy Advance, Generation 3 Pokemon was really good. That was like one of the a big quality leap in terms of technology when it came from Gen 2 to Gen 3. The way they went in there and they did a whole new Pokedex, and just the graphic shift, the shift from Game Boy Color to Game Boy Advance, you really felt that, dude. I'm gonna give Sapphire an A. Oh, I should be talking about their sales figures, hold on. Okay, so Super Mario Bros. U was the 50th best-selling game at 22,200,000 units sold. Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald got 22,540,000 units sold. Next up, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, 48th best-selling game, 22,700,000 units sold. Modern Warfare 2 was a banger. People forget that Call of Duty used to be really good, and that's because for a time, they just pumped out banger after banger. Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 2, like, things were good in the Call of Duty universe for quite some time. Modern Warfare 2 is maybe the most fun multiplayer of any Call of Duty. It definitely had some of the most broken shit associated with it. Like Model 1887's Akimbo, you could one-shot people with those dual shotguns from like across the entire map. Oh, really good. And then people would use like Commando with a pistol tactical knife, and then you could just like knife people and it would basically just like hook shot them. It's like you grappled towards them and meleeed them and stabbed them and killed them instantly. It was a great time. Modern Warfare 2 is probably S tier because it's the best Call of Duty from a multiplayer perspective. Next up, we got Super Mario 64. 22,960,000 units sold. It says Nintendo 64 and DS, so I guess they like did it digitally on the DS also. I played this game late. This was not a game that I grew up with. I was a PlayStation guy, but I did have an NES. And I did have a Super Nintendo. I just never got a Nintendo 64 until much later in life. But Super Mario 64, I did go back and play it, especially with that like triple release they did of the remasters of the 3D All-Stars. I went back and played Super Mario 64, and I had some experience with it as a kid, like playing it at other people's houses. I was too spoiled by modern Mario conveniences. Like its age. I played it too late, man. But this game's honestly a C to me. Alright, we got Red Dead Redemption coming in at number 46. 46, the best-selling game of all time with 23 million units sold. I played a bit of Red Dead Redemption. I played it for maybe 6 or 7 hours back when it actually came out, and it was decent. It's a decent game. It's a decent game. It's a decent game. I don't know why this has a Nintendo DS symbol next to it. That's wrong. Oh, that's the Mario Kart DS on the left side. I see. I see. Silly. Super Mario Odyssey coming in at number 45 with 23.5 million units sold. Super Mario Odyssey is an easy S tier. This is my favorite Mario game. I think it's still potentially... It's definitely top 3 best games on the Switch. And honestly, this game was just like a revolution. I was like, wow, this is what 3D Mario can be. This is like maximum capacity, as good as it gets when it comes to 3D Mario. Mario Kart DS, did not play. Never really had Mario Kart on... Actually, hold on, I think I literally have this game. But I don't think that I actually played it. You know what, it's probably where I keep the other half of my DS games, because I have weird organizational habits. But yeah, even though I have it, I don't think I played it very much at all. Number 44 with 23.6 million copies sold. 100,000 more than Super Mario Odyssey. Coming in at number 43, we got Nintendogs. I can't believe how much this game sold. 23.96 million copies sold. I never played it. It's just... you pet dogs and talk to them, and it was revolutionary for the time. Wasn't this like one of the first DS games? Wasn't this like the DS game that they used to sell the Nintendo DS? It's cute idea. Just put some little puppies in a game, boom. Instant bestseller. They made billions off this game just by letting you pet some damn dogs. We've got OG Sonic. I did play original Sonic for like an hour and a half. I did not click with this game. I will give you C tier as being generous because I really just don't have fun with Sonic in general. The only Sonic game I've even mildly enjoyed, and this is gonna piss a lot of you off, is Shadow the Hedgehog for PS2. As a kid, I sorta liked that one. You got to shoot assault rifles at people, alright? It was like Sonic but more badass. That was more my speed. Like, when is Sonic gonna start just shooting bazookas at people, you know? That's when you'll get me. But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog was number 42, 23.98 million copies sold. And then we have a tie for number 40. We have FIFA 18 and Connect Adventures. These are both tied, 24 million copies sold. FIFA is FIFA. That's just, you know, it's a soccer game. Whatever. Speaks for itself. Connect Adventures... This is like cheating, because this is bundled with the Kinect, right? I can't believe the Kinect was ever a thing. It seemed like it only really worked half the time. I don't understand how you have hardware that shoddy that you sell to everybody, and somehow, even though a lot of people complain about the fact that most games that come out for it just don't work, and somehow you still get to sell 24 million copies of Connect Adventures. Maybe this is the best Connect game ever made. I don't know, I didn't play it. I never got a Connect. There's so many games like this in this list too that I just feel like don't deserve it. Like Wii Sports Resort, Wii Fit, Wii Play, these are barely even games. Alright, next up we got Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Coming in at number 39 with 24.2 million copies sold. Yeah, this was still part of the renaissance of when Call of Duty was really good. Black Ops 2 is fantastic. Absolutely great game. Really good multiplayer, but also really good zombies. I mean, it's basically also S tier. S tier, just a little bit behind. And we'll order these at the end of the video. Next up, we got Pokemon Sword and Shield. Coming in at 38, 24.27 million copies sold. 70,000 more than Black Ops 2. These games got some flack, but they're still, like, enjoyable because they're Pokemon. Game Freak really doesn't need to do a whole lot these days. It's a low... I think Pokemon is severely held back by it being under Nintendo's umbrella. If you gave the Pokemon franchise to, like... an up-and-coming developer who really wanted to cut their teeth on something and prove themselves, you'd get the best Pokemon game in decades for sure. Game Freak doesn't do a damn thing anymore. Because they don't have to, man. Like, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, they're like, alright, we're gonna take Pokemon Sword and Shield, but we're gonna give you co-op, and we're gonna let you go to any city you want in any order, and we'll call it a day. Those are two cool features, but it's not like they would take, like, a tremendous amount of effort to implement, you know what I mean? That said, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are going to be good games. Like, they're going to be better than Sword and Shield, at least, pretty much by definition. Sword and Shield was the best multiplayer Pokemon game, and that's not even up for debate because of the raids and just everything that they had in regard to that. Like, that is what it is for, and that's what sort of really elevated the game. Other Pokemon games are about the journey from becoming from being a fledgling trainer to becoming the champion. In Pokemon Sword and Shield, that is like, that doesn't matter. It really, like, you're just going through the motions so that you can get access to all the post-game content. Like, these games are all post-game. But Sword and Shield were still, like, enjoyable. I think these games are also held back just from, like, being on the Switch, which is a technologically inferior console. Imagine all of your favorite Nintendo games, but they were made on a console that could actually do anything. Like, there's no need to be protective of your favorite games and be like, how dare you say that these could be better, they're already perfect. It's like, no, they're not. They're not perfect. You've played a PS5 game. You've played a high-end PC game. You know what gaming technology is actually capable of. And you could apply that to your favorite games, and they could have just absolutely blown your whole situation away. They're kind of B tier. Anyway, big tangent on that. Next up, we got Super Mario Bros. 3. Coming in at number 37 with 24.43 million copies sold. Super Mario Bros. 3 was quite good. I'm going to give it A tier. Just good, solid, handheld Mario action. Back when Mario still had tight platforming. These older Mario games, these were the pinnacle of handheld platforming. Number 36, Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum with 24.73 million copies sold. Gen 4 is my least favorite Pokemon gen. I don't like... The Pokedex is extremely lackluster. The region is the worst region in Pokemon history, in my opinion. I hate the Sinnoh region. I hate the snow. I hate the bogs. I feel like graphically, it's a step down from... I feel like Sapphire looks better than Diamond and Pearl. I like the style of it better. It has a better art style. Diamond and Pearl's art style, making the switch to the DS... It doesn't feel like it's technologically any better. It has like garish colors, and the menus look gross. The battle icons they're just not pleasant to look at. It just feels like it suffers from bad visual design in a lot of areas. So I really don't like Diamond and Pearl. I shouldn't say generation, because Gen 4 added a lot of extremely useful and revolutionized, like, the battle mechanics with physical and special split and all that. But as a result of that, I love Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which are made in the Gen 4 engine, but Diamond and Pearl are just not good games to me. Coming up next, we have number 35, Grand Theft Auto 4 with 25 million sales. I didn't play this game, sorry. Number 34, Pokemon Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, which have apparently pooled their sales, which I think is cheating, because they are different games. Sun and Moon should have different sales figures than Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, where you don't get to just pool them. Sun and Moon is like some of the worst tutorial handholding in any Pokemon game. You really have zero freedom to do what you want until you're like halfway through the story. They're just constantly telling you where to go, and if you try to go anywhere else, the game is like, where are you going? The main plot is this way! And it's like, are you kidding me? This is so frustrating. The individual Pokemon are not bad, but just the collection of Pokemon together was not a good collection. Like, so many of them are slow as molasses. There's hardly any Pokemon that have any speed at all in Sun and Moon. Is probably also D tier. That's gotta be my second least favorite Pokemon game of the main generations. Number 33, we have Borderlands 2 coming in at 26 million sales. So we got Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2 is better than Borderlands in every single way. It's a fantastic game. It really is the pinnacle of the series, because I'm also not that much of a fan of Borderlands 3, and the pre-sequel was trash. I haven't played Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I heard that was decent, but I might check that out when it goes on like a major sale. Teetering on S tier, we'll see at the end if I decide to put it in S tier. Number 32, Call of Duty Black Ops, the original Black Ops. Absolutely also banger game, goes right into S tier. It's gonna be hard to order these Call of Duties together, but that is... Black Ops was tremendous. After that, we have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 with 26.5 million copies sold, 300,000 more than Black Ops, and I don't like this game. It did not do anything for me. I didn't really like the multiplayer. I didn't like the other modes. It's probably, honestly, I would even give it a D tier game. I really just did not enjoy it. I did not get into it. After that, we've got number 30, Super Mario World, 26.6 million copies sold is maybe the best Mario handheld game. I think Super Mario Advance has maybe some claim to that title, but that is not on this list. But Super Mario World is extremely good. I am going to put it in A tier. Coming up after that, number 29, we got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas with 27.5 million copies sold. Another Grand Theft Auto game I did not play. Number 28, Wii Play. Didn't play, but like ceremonious F tier. These games don't deserve to be top sellers. The Wii was really just that much of a powerhouse of a console that even their frickin' tech demos outsold so many amazing games. After Wii Play, we've got number 27, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, 28.17 million copies sold. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is an absolutely S-tier game. It's the best fighting game of all time. The only issue with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the fact that there's no rollback netcode. So when you play online, you're getting like 7 frames of input lag with every action that you input. And no other fighting game has that, man. It's absolutely ludicrous that they could drop the ball like that, but that is just yet another... I don't even think it's a Nintendo problem, because frickin' Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl on the Switch has rollback netcode. They couldn't give rollback netcode to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Absolute atrocity. If you play offline in Smash and then you go online, you will notice a damn difference. That's for sure. All of a sudden, none of your combos work, and you gotta like recalibrate your brain to just work with this delay. The more you think about it, the more it should be infuriating. That said, everything else about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is perfection. This is like the seminal work of the Nintendo Switch in terms of the amount of effort put into it. They just made one... They just wrote off one thing about it for no reason. And I think they did an interview with the developer, and the developer was like, oh, we didn't think we needed that. Like, what the how would you... Number 26, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, with 28.2 million, which is about 70,000 more than Smash Ultimate. This game I did play all of. I'm not like a tremendous Zelda fan. I enjoyed Breath of the Wild and I enjoyed Link's Awakening, and those are really the only games that I've played more than half an hour of. But The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a decent, it's an A tier game. I know it's some people's favorite game. They definitely would want to see it in S tier. I've just played better open world games. Like, I've played many better open world games. But The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is still pretty good, especially, like, the Switch is just dealing with a lower scale of metrics. Like, when you play a game on Switch, you're like, oh, this is pretty good for a Switch game. The only thing I really know about Duck Hunt is that he's in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And he's really annoying. He's a zoner. He throws hella shit on the screen. It's really hard to get through. Number 24, Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal, 29.4 million copies sold. These games were goated. Absolutely goated. They didn't add a whole lot of new Pokemon, but they gave you an entire new region, and then they let you re-explore the old region again, so you could actually get 16 badges in this game. There's just a lot. Like, you get 8 badges, then you go to the next region, you get 8 more badges. They didn't have to do that, man, but they did. They didn't have to, like, put a 1.5x multiplier on the game, but they did. In terms of content. Then we have a 4-way tie for number 20. We've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Diablo 3, Skyrim, and Human Fall Flat. When did Human Fall Flat sell any copies? Much less 30 million copies. I have only heard of this game tangentially. When did this game become such a sensation? How did I miss it? I don't like this. This is the one that's like maybe the most baffling to me. That would be like if you told me that Gang Beasts was on the best-selling list. I'd be like, what? Who? How many kids bought like 100 copies each of this game? So that's Human Fall Flat for you. Then we've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is not the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is the remake. I don't believe that I played that. This was happening when I was losing interest in Call of Duty or had already lost it entirely. So couldn't tell you about that one. What I can tell you about is that Diablo 3 is an easy S tier. Oh, very good. I played the hell out of this game on Xbox 360, and then again when they released the Reaper of Souls edition on PS4. And then we have Skyrim, which obviously S tier. Everyone's played Skyrim. If you have played Skyrim for less than 1,000 hours, you haven't really played Skyrim, you know? There has to be at least one F tier. If there's no F tier by the end of this, I will put something in F tier. Just to make sure. Wii Sports Resort. If I had played this game, I would put it in F. I have an angry vendetta against these games and their audacity to outsell actually good games. And you did have to buy this one at least. Like, Wii Sports came with the damn Wii. This shouldn't even be on the list. Wii Sports is not how many copies Wii Sports has sold. That's how many copies of the Nintendo Wii system have been sold. Alright, number 15, Animal Crossing New Horizons at 38.6 million copies sold. This game can thank COVID for its longevity. That is the only reason this game got as big as it did. I know Animal Crossing was a popular series, but it wasn't that popular. And the only reason it was is because nobody could go to work for like 6 months. I did play Animal Crossing. I have a decent amount of hours in Animal Crossing. I messed with my island a fair bit. It's fun. I would give it a B tier. Number 14, The Witcher 3. I played this game for like an hour and I did not click with it at all. I didn't like pretty much anything about it. And I know that that's very controversial. I've played games like it that were my kind of game. Like, I didn't hate open world games or anything. Or open world RPGs in general. The Witcher 3 also sold 40 million copies, by the way. 1.4 more than Animal Crossing. Pac-Man with 42 million copies sold. I don't really get the appeal of Pac-Man. I've played Pac-Man on arcade machines. All throughout my life I've seen people do it, and I'm like, why is this fun to you? Why is this fun? This is the most bare bones game, like, ever created. Coming in at number 12, we have Tetris 1989. And actually, if you may have noticed, if you are somebody who, like, counted all the squares beforehand, that there are only 49 objects in this list, despite this being a top 50. That's because they don't have the other version of Tetris in here. So I don't know if this is Tetris 1989 or if this is Tetris EA in September 12th of 2006 by EA, which that is the number 3 best-selling game of all time, but Tetris 1989 is the 12th best-selling game of all time with 43 million copies. So I don't know which one this is, but it doesn't really matter that much. Tetris is Tetris, and Tetris is F tier. There's my F tier. This is another just bare bones, barely a video game. Tetris is like Snake. It's like, what would you... Is Snake like your favorite video game? Like, it's a distraction. Tetris is the equivalent of like doodling in your notebook when you're bored. That's not a gaming experience. That's something you would do if you didn't want to listen to the teacher. Number 11, Wii Fit Plus. Didn't play, but would love to put it in F tier. These games, man, these not even games. Number 10, we are finally in the top 10 with Red Dead Redemption 2, 44 million copies sold. I played this game, it's too realistic. It's realistic at the cost of fun and convenience. Tries too hard to be impressive and succeeds, but you're sacrificing general enjoyment of, like, gameplay mechanics. The original Red Dead Redemption is more fun than Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 9, Terraria. 44.5 million copies sold, 500,000 more than Red Dead Redemption 2. Terraria is a game I played for like half an hour. Wasn't really into that, man. Just not my cup of tea. Number 8, Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. 47.5 million copies sold, 3 million more than Terraria. These games, looking back on them, are quite bad. They are extremely janky, and like 10% of the mechanics in them don't even work. Like, they weren't programmed correctly. But it's the thing that started it all, you know? You gotta give it some props for being a symbolic representation of the beginnings of a mad powerhouse franchise that later seemed to have lost its own luster for its own creation and then started just phoning it in. I'll give it C tier. I can still enjoy playing it. I played it as recently as like a couple years ago. It was alright. I played it as a ROM, so like I had the ability to skip a lot of grinding by just fast forwarding through stuff while I was doing the actions. Every game, by the way, ROM functionality should be in every game. Specifically the like fast forward, the save states, the pause, like that kind of like those features should be in every game that comes out, regardless of anything. They are such tools of convenience that make replaying older titles tolerable and would even make newer titles like you could just skip the parts that drag the game experience down, and it's just a better way to experience games, man. Number 7, we got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. 53.7 million copies sold. 6 million more than Pokemon Red, Green, Blue, and Yellow. This is Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe, so they're pooling the sales of the Wii U version and the Switch version. I have played the Switch version. Mario Kart 8, it's good. It's a good racing game. It's not my favorite racing game, but it's a decent racing game. I'd probably put it in B tier. Super Mario Bros. Number 6, 58 million sales. Almost 4 million more than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Super Mario Bros. On the NES. I played this game on the NES when I was a kid. I'll give it B tier because I'm more fond of it. Original Mario Bros. Had very slippery platforming the other way. So like, you start with Mario Bros. On NES and you've got slippery, like barely can control air drift. If you run and then you stop running, you keep running for like a full second and your character just slides along the ground like it's ice. And then you get more into like the later, like Super Mario World, Super Mario Bros. 3, and these are the pinnacles of Mario perfection in platforming, where everything is super tight. And then you start getting more into like the Super Mario Bros. U, where they kind of go back to the NES Mario Bros. Of like, you just don't have incredible control of your character, and when you do, it's just like, it's more floaty and just like, yeah. Number 5, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. 75 million copies sold. 17 million more than Super Mario Bros. This is where the jumps really get large. This is a D tier game. I don't know why it's so popular. It was like, obviously it was the advent of the Battle Royale genre, but you kind of wish it happened with a better game. This thing was in early access like forever. It's like they never finished the game. And then I remember it was nominated for Game of the Year despite not being done. It's like, how about you cool your jets, man? Wait for this thing to actually release. Number 4, Wii Sports. 82.9 million copies sold. You know why? Because it came with the Wii! Because it came with the Wii! I knew someone who had a Wii. We'd come over, we'd play Wii Sports. Guess what? It's okay. It's a C tier game. It does not deserve to be the number 4 best-selling game of all time. Dude, they did to Wii Sports what U2 did to that to one of their albums when it came to signing up for iTunes. It's like, oh, that's like if U2 gave everybody their album for free who did iTunes, and then everybody did, oh, U2 has one of the best-selling albums of all time. Like, get out of here! You don't deserve that and you know it! Alright, number 3 is the other version of Tetris, which we already put in F tier. So, which sold 100 million copies, by the way. Yowza. 18 million, or 17 million more than Wii Sports. And then number 2, we got Grand Theft Auto 5. 165 million copies sold. 65 million more than Tetris. And this is the one that I've actually played, and I think it's decent. I'm not in love with it. I wasn't supremely invested in it. I just, was more of a Saints Row guy, I don't know. And I don't even really love Saints Row or anything, I just prefer the franchise. And it's not like I have to pick one, but having played that one, I had felt like I had already sort of played this one. Which leaves number 1, Minecraft. 238 million copies sold. Minecraft, to me, is a game that can be very enjoyable and time-sinking. I used to really like making things in Minecraft, like structures and patterns. I remember that one of the things I was most proud of is I made this skyscraper, and every floor had a different floor pattern on it, using different colored wool and whatnot, and I just thought it was so cool. But I would say Minecraft is like a B tier to me. I'm not obsessed with it. It is an absolute phenomenon, no question about it. But as far as my personal enjoyment goes, it's not at the top of my list. But that's all the games, so now let's do some ordering around here. Alright, let's start with F. Which game should go first in F? I'm thinking Tetris. Alright, yeah, that looks good. Pac-Man maybe should just be at the bottom. That's probably fine for D tier. And then we'll put Sonic at the back. With B tier, and then Animal Crossing, and then Red Dead Redemption, and then Mario Kart 8, and then Red Dead Redemption 2. Actually, let's do it like this, because I play Mario Kart 8 more. So that's good for B tier. And then A, I think we put Borderlands 2 at the front, honestly. Honestly, I think we put Borderlands 2 at the front. Then after that, we go Pokemon Sapphire. Then after that, we go Super Mario World. And then Breath of the Wild. And then, yeah, Breath of the Wild at the end of A tier. Skyrim at the top. Then you put Pokemon Silver at the top. Let's say Smash Ultimate there. I guess. Then Super Mario Odyssey. Then Diablo 3. Diablo 3 ahead of Super Mario Odyssey. Diablo 3 ahead of Smash. And then the Call of Duty order at the back here. It's gonna be Modern Warfare 2, it's gonna be Black Ops, and then it's gonna be Black Ops 2. Yeah, I think that's it, man. That's my tier list. Read 'em and weep, fellas. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino. And I will see you guys next time.